Whenever I share about how my kids learn to read, it kind of divides the internet. But it's our experience, it's the experience of a lot of other home educators, and it's been really enjoyable. So I'll share what we did. First of all, I think it's so lovely that your sister's nearly 3, how cute is that? And that you're like looking into how to help her. It's just so lovely. Second thing, is totally normal for little ones to get frustrated. She's a toddler, so it's not like there's something wrong. This is completely normal. When toddlers have tantrums or get frustrated, the best thing you can do is just validate it and say, yeah, that is frustrating, isn't it? Like, I remember when I felt like that. You really don't need to do much else a lot of the time, apart from just tell them their feelings are normal and valid. A lot of the time, just hearing that can help them work their way through it. However, there are things you can do reading-wise that might help her. You said, I think, that she gets frustrated because she can't read full sentences. There are very few 2-year-olds who can read full sentences, so again, very normal. Something I've always done with my 7-year-old, which I still do, and I love seeing her do it, is I will give her any book she wants. So when we go to the library, she'll come up with these like chunky fat things which are clearly for like tweens or adults, or you know, it's an encyclopedia or something. I never say no to a book. There's absolutely no way she can like physically read these books, and I know that. And I think she knows that. But I do think a key part of living a happy life is to be basically delusional, and I'm very happy for her to go for that. I never point out that she's not going to be able to read it all. And one of the key things when it comes to decoding the symbols is putting things into context. So if your sister is learning to read and she's like reading, let's say the dog went to the park and she's reading the dog something to the park, you can say to her, oh, what do you reckon that word might be? Like, what makes sense? And give her a word that is the word, like went, and then give her a ridiculous word like cake, because it's not going to be the dog cake to the park. And that will help her start figuring out, okay, so went, so word. She's going to start figuring out what sort of sounds go with the symbols. That might work. Some kids want to be left alone completely, and if she tells you to back off, just back off. A really important thing when kids are learning to read is like an absence of pressure, and some kids just want to be left alone completely. So whatever she's telling you she wants, if she says to you, can you put your finger on the page, or if she says to you, get your finger off the page, whatever she's saying, just go with it, because she's basically telling you how she's learning. Another thing is reading aloud. If she's got audiobooks, they can be fantastic, or you sitting with her or your parents sitting with her, and just really developing that love of stories. It's going to make her just so much more motivated to want to read. If she's hearing all these interesting things, it's like another world, and she's going to be really curious, and she's going to want to be able to access that world herself. So just making reading as enjoyable as possible. I've seen on TikTok, there are these like flashcard machines which look pretty good. Like, I wouldn't use them like in a school way, like in a lesson way. I would just give her the toy and let her figure it out. I'll see if I can find it, I will link it down here. My daughter has these squishy letters, like alphabet letters, and I know they've helped her figure out spelling, because when we went on an aeroplane recently, she packed only the letters that spelled out but, which to a 7-year-old is obviously hilarious. I hope that helps. Please feel free to ask me any questions.